The Power of Habit Lessons. Here is a book called The Power of Habit, by Charles Duhigg. If you are striving to form good habits, like exercising regularly, or kick bad ones, like eating fast food, or you're interested in how to implement new routines in your organizations, then this book is for you. In this book, Charles Duhigg helps you understand why habits are the core of everything you do, how you can change them, and what impact that will have in your life, business and society. He proves how true our habits affects our lives by making references to researches and personal experiences. Charles Duhigg is a Pulitzer Prize-nominated investigative reporter who writes for the New York Times. He has won numerous awards for his work and has appeared on TV shows such as Frontline and The NewsHour with Jim Lehrer. Here are 3 main lessons from his book. Lesson 1. Habits work in 3-step loops: cue, routine, reward. Lesson 2. You can change your habits by substituting just one part of the loop, the routine. Lesson 3. Willpower is the most important habit, and you can strengthen it over time with 3 things. Want to learn more? Let's go. Lesson 1. Habits work in 3-step loops: cue, routine, reward. Habits, scientists say, emerge because the brain is constantly looking for ways to save effort. Left to its own devices, the brain will try to make almost any routine into a habit, because habits allow our minds to think less more often. This effort-saving instinct is a huge advantage. This process within our brains is a 3-step loop. First, there is a cue, a trigger that tells your brain to go into automatic mode and which habit to use. Then there is the routine, which can be physical or mental or emotional. Finally, there is a reward, which helps your brain figure out if this particular loop is worth remembering for the future. Roughly, 40% of what you do happens on autopilot. You don't think about them. They just happen. Habits are your brain's way of saving energy. So given you spend around 6 of your 16 waking hours doing things you're not aware of, it might be worth understanding what happens here. Duhigg discovered that at the root of all habits, like drinking your coffee every morning, lies a simple 3-part loop. The cue is what triggers you to do the habit, for example sitting down at your kitchen table to have breakfast every morning at 7 a.m. The routine is the behavior you then automatically engage in, which, for drinking coffee, might be to go over to your coffee maker, turn it on, and press the large cup button. Lastly, you'll receive a reward for completing the routine, such as the rich smell of your coffee, its hearty taste and getting to watch the steam rise from the cup as it sits on your kitchen table in the sunlight. Your brain's activity only spikes twice during this loop. At the beginning, to figure out which habit to engage in, and at the end, when the link between cue and routine is reinforced. That's how habits are built, and the stronger this link gets, the harder it becomes. Lesson 2. You can change your habits by substituting just one part of the loop, the routine. Naturally, the more often you reinforce a habit, the more embedded in your brain it gets. In case of the coffee, you might crave it the second you sit down at your kitchen table, and when you can't have it that day, because the machine broke, you'll probably get very grumpy and buy one later at work. The trick to changing a habit then, is to switch the routine, and leave everything else intact. Duhigg calls this the golden rule. Lesson 3. Your most important habit is willpower. And you can strengthen it over time in 3 ways. Not all habits are created equal, and Duhigg says, willpower is by far one of the most important ones, as it helps us do better in all aspects of life. Here are 3 uncommon ways in which you can grow your total willpower capacity over time. Number 1. Do something that requires a lot of discipline. For example, a tough wake-up regimen or strict diet will make you constantly practice delaying gratification and thus give you more willpower to exert throughout your day. Number 2. Plan ahead for worst-case scenarios. Even just thinking about your boss yelling at you before it ever happens will help you not lose your cool when it does. Number 3. Preserve your autonomy. Autonomy is a major part of living a passionate life. If you take it away, your willpower also goes down the drain. When you're assigned tasks by someone else, which you must do, your willpower muscle tires much quicker. Want to learn more? You can get the book by following the link in description below. Thank you for watching.